Prologue. 7:33 p.m. October the 2nd. Egypt. Giza Plateau, somewhere inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Lydia del Biondo realized she only had a few minutes before she would choke to death. The oxygen was being burned by a mysterious flame that engulfed the chamber's high ceiling in which she was a prisoner. A myriad of thoughts flashed through her mind, adrenaline flooding her brain as she began trying to find a way to extinguish the fire. A familiar odor reached her nostrils, and the glint of an ancient oil coating the stony surface of the ceiling struck her eye. I must have triggered a spark which ignited that oil. She whirled about, desperately seeking a clue, but there was nothing besides the flickering of her shadow on the wall. Damn clever Egyptians and their bloody traps perfectly hidden in this god-forsaken place, Lydia muttered, trying to adapt her vision to the bright light of the flame. Well done, Lydia. This is the end. I came so far. This cannot be the way I die. The answer must be just in front of me. But where? Neo will have a solution, but of course there's no satellite signal underneath of all of these tons of solid rock. She looked desperately around the room, but could not find any marks or writing on the walls. More strange shadows appeared before her eyes, brought to life by the flames, which now had a bluish tone. Where is the exit? Think, Lydia. Look carefully at what lies beneath, as my dad would have said. What lies beneath? The entrance that closed behind her formed a perfectly smooth surface. The wall was so well polished that she could see a faint reflection of herself in it. The ancient basaltic stone was sucking all the light around the dark mirror. And then it struck her. What lies beneath? I did not check the floor. What if the exit is below me? Activate light, Lydia bellowed, and her cell phone connected. X-Glass instantly activated the flashlight, beaming it directly onto the floor. The flame was quickly burning through the remaining oxygen. The lack of breathable air started a slow strangulation process. I will choke in the next minute. She knew this from the medical symptoms her body was experiencing. After carefully screening the floor, her gaze fell upon a set of hieroglyphics at the bottom of a wall. That must be it. And at that moment, she remembered the experiments she was performing in her lab. At Calico, as chief geneticist, she oversaw running the Elysium project on extending the lifespan of human beings. Using the CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing tool, she was trying to create human organs in animals to develop a genome transplantation tool for xenotransplantation. Her experiments on nematode worms aimed to bring them to the limits of survival by using a senescence-related pattern. Could I replicate the same life extension effects on human beings? The irony was that now the roles were reversed. She was choking to death, and instead of focusing on the potential life-saving hieroglyphics, old memories were playing tricks on her. I did not want to end like my nematode worms. Peering at the symbols, she could not read them, but something seemed off. What was it? Then it hit her. The scarab symbol was carrying on its back an almost invisible variation of the tree of life in the center of a series of dots which could have been the pattern of a long-gone flower of life. Zahawi, her Egyptian lab colleague, was always joking that she should have worked on scarabs, not on worms. She vividly remembered his words. Lydia, scarabs are a symbol of renewal, the endurance of the human soul, an amulet to unlock the gate to eternity. And while looking at the strange scarab, she felt she could no longer breathe. Acting on an impulse, she jabbed the scarab hard with her palm. Suddenly the floor opened, and she started to slide uncontrollably, as if she were in an ancient roller coaster, descending towards a dark abyss, leaving behind her the blue glimmer of the flames until nothingness surrounded her.